And there's also the second quarter, which we haven't touched on yet. And let's maybe do what we have to do. So basically talk about this match, Marozsan against Fonseca. To be honest with you, after Estoril, I have some doubts. I mean, the Joao forehand was not firing the same way it was against Tommy Paul. Some people have suggested to me that maybe this is because, he didn't play any clay warm-ups before Madrid. And sure, it could be contributing, but, in Madrid, he was on it. Like, he has 2% more experience, and he beats Tommy Paul in straight sets. He had 2 set points each. And Estoril, he just wasn't as comfortable. He had issues adjusting for sure. Obviously, Jesper de Jong, he came up with the occasional serve and volleying, drop shots. Everything was executed perfectly to keep Joao from playing his game. But it still wasn't the kind of ball striking that I wanted to see. It wasn't impressive. Like, watching that match, I was like, yeah, sure, it's Joao Fonseca. I've seen this guy a billion times now, but I actually enjoyed him more last year when he lost to Choinski. That was, oh yeah, this guy's something. And this time I was just like, yeah, this isn't what I know he can play. And yeah, I just wonder how his slow clay performances are going to look from here. Obviously not for the whole future, but apparently in the Portuguese section of the press conference, which you can also find on Talking Tennis, by the way, even though some Brazilians tend to get angry at that for whatever reason. But you can also find it, and basically he said that he does feel a lot more comfortable in hard courts at the moment, that he wasn't expecting a result like the Buenos Aires title. And we know that this was obviously a huge struggle as well for him in a few matches. So I guess my expectations are a little lower than they would have been otherwise. And considering the draw here, I guess if he beats Marozsan, he's already defeated Rublev. Rublev tends to struggle recently against players who out-hit him. Menchik is another player whom we don't really know how he's going to perform in conditions like this. So the draw as a whole, this section that we're looking at, the 16 players, if this was Madrid, I would have been probably screaming, yeah, Fonseca can get through this, all of this. But in Rome, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see the match that he played in Estoril. I just know it was pretty bad and he made a lot of errors and he underperformed. But was some of that also because of the the pressure to play the 175 because of maybe appearance fees, or just the fact that he was signed up and he lost early? Or was there also some physical issues before, something in training or something? I remember John posting about that when he was there, about some issues in some practice sections, physical things.
Yeah, he talked about the shoulder, but John asked him about it, and he basically said it's not a real injury. It's just, athlete's life, I think he called it. So I wouldn't really look at that too much, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, but the matchup against Marozsan is pretty tough right away. And yeah, maybe if that's still fresh in your mind, the Estoril performance, you're probably going to lower your expectations for Joao at this point.
Yeah, I do think that he is obviously very dangerous. It's possible he gets on the run. It's just not quite like Madrid, where you have to consider him as one of the players who can make a very massive impact there. He beats Paul, and he definitely makes it to that Draper 4th round, I believe, there. And then who knows what happens there. But yeah, nonetheless, here it's going to be a little bit more difficult and Roland Garros. But who knows? Maybe he'll just have a good training block and find something. Maybe it's really just a matter of that. Would like to hear which way Damien are leaning. This is just making us predict, which doesn't make much sense. Is Fonseca the favorite? Yeah, but it's somewhat lukewarm. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he's probably a slighter favorite than he would have been if he beats Paul or he does better in Estoril. So he's a favorite, but only marginally, I think.
Yeah, marginally is maybe a stretch, but definitely, not as much of a favorite as he was against Jesper, for example. That's maybe how I would put it. But yeah, also the opponent is pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. There are definitely better players he could have faced here, better in the sense that they would have been more pleasant for him to tackle. So yeah, if not Fonseca, if we look at this whole 16-player section, I guess it's very open, and that's kind of what's still making me think, it's possible that he can go far, because you've got Rublev, who since he started working with Marat Safin, we haven't really seen the best of him yet. We haven't seen that flourish, let's say. We've got Menchik, who did very well in Madrid, but his slow clay performances of late were tough, and I think he can get there with time. I think he already had great slow clay performances in the past, just not recently, and he's probably not going to be as deadly as he was there when he was really relying on that serve to be just insane. Hurkacz, who's been struggling, Fritz, who also just came back from an injury and probably loses to Bonzi in Madrid if the Frenchman doesn't get injured. So it looks very open to me.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
But yeah, another match point here.
And that's it. So 6-0, 6-1. Kosiak just too good from the ground. You know, after Ayala losing that first game of the match, it was a 10-minute game. You know, you kind of felt how important it was. And then, you know, credit to Ayala, like, you know, trying different things. Didn't end up working out for her, but, you know, Kosiak was just far too good today.
Yeah, I think in that preview clip we played at the very beginning, me and Vansh basically said that like Kostic was probably gonna just be too complete. There's not much of an angle that I can like look for playing against her, but I didn't think it was gonna be a 6-love 6-1. What we got today was just Kostic moving so much better on clay, especially than in comparison to Ayala. Winning that opening game, again, I think it had so much impact because you've got 10 minutes of action and she never really has that feeling that, Ayala put Świątek into. She never has that panic. I think Ayala, because she has that unique game style, she kind of relies on that. She has to force her opponent to just be uncomfortable with her game. And it's tougher to do it on clay for her right now. It's also tougher to do it when the opponent starts well. And if you start with a 10-minute opening game, and then hold so easily, then you're probably going to be feeling like, okay, I'm doing well. I can just keep doing what I'm doing and hit these like decent, aggressive returns, but not going all out. Like Świątek was making that mistake a lot against Ayala in the two matches that they played. So I mean, in a way, Kostic was just far too good, far too also like the edge she had in the matchup was amazing. I wonder how this looks if Ayala wins the first game. I think we definitely get at least like a 6-3, 6-3 or whatever, something much closer. I think if there is even that one moment when Kostic can feel, maybe this isn't going to be so straightforward. But I think from, let's say, going 2-0 up, she was just feeling so calm and so confident.
Right. And there was never really any scoreboard pressure to work off of. I don't think she saw a break point at all. So just never really got, enough rhythm going in her direction to, cause a dent today. But always
Ayala isn't the best server, but that's probably the most telling. But well, she makes up for it with returning, but that's probably the most telling stat today, that she had to face 18 breakpoints and Kostic none.
Right. So just conditions that, she'll need to continue to work at. And, a lot of her game on hard court maybe gets exposed here. And, still room. There's plenty of room, plenty of opportunity for her. And obviously it's great to, have her in the scene. Obviously a tough draw, but, that's part of it. And, brings in a lot of fans. So thanks for everyone tuning in.
Yeah, Serundolo also had 18, but I think Ruud had some too in that
True.
match. That was a difference maker. If Serundolo had 18 breakpoints and Ruud had none, then Serundolo would have won the match. That's what I'm gonna say. And Kostic as well. I mean, we said that at the beginning. She should have been seeded here if they used the rankings after Madrid, right? So it was probably the toughest draw in the field, really. Like if you're thinking of round one players, is Kostic just the best? Probably. I wasn't thinking about it this way before, but I mean, probably the toughest round one draw that Ayala literally could have gotten. Was she going to beat most of the players in the field? Personally, I don't think so. But it definitely didn't need to be like this. And it's experience, sure, but I guess it's better to get that experience at like round 2 or round 3 after already getting some good reps, some good time on court. Either way, I mean, of course, it's really her. After Miami, it's really the first time she's been in the top 100. She's able to play events like this. So it's still really all about reaping the rewards from that over the next few months and hopefully making sure that she can stay. Yeah, I mean, anything more really? It's a shame that the stream wasn't going to be this long, but thank you to everybody, of course, who joined. Sorry to the Iala fandom, but she will have better days than this.
Spot on. Thanks, Damien.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this,
Ready? Play.
And there's also the second quarter, which we haven't touched on yet. And let's maybe do what we have to do. So basically talk about this match, Marozsan against Fonseca. To be honest with you, after Estoril, I have some doubts. I mean, the Joao forehand was not firing the same way it was against Tommy Paul. Some people have suggested to me that maybe this is because, he didn't play any clay warm-ups before Madrid. And sure, it could be contributing, but in Madrid he was on it. Like, he has 2% more experience, and he beats Tommy Paul in straight sets. He had 2 set points each. And Estoril, yeah, I mean, he just wasn't as comfortable. He had issues adjusting for sure. Obviously, Jesper de Jong, he came up with the occasional serve and volleying, drop shots. Everything was executed perfectly to keep Joao from playing his game. But it still wasn't the kind of ball striking that I wanted to see. It wasn't impressive. Like, watching that match, I was like, yeah, sure, it's Joao Fonseca. I've seen this guy a billion times now, but I actually enjoyed him more last year when he lost to Choinski. That was, oh yeah, this guy's something. And this time I was just like, yeah, this isn't what I know he can play. And yeah, I just wonder how his slow clay performances are going to look from here. Obviously not like for the whole future, but apparently in the Portuguese section of the press conference, which you can also find on Talking Tennis, by the way, even though some Brazilians tend to get angry at that for whatever reason. But you can also find it, and basically he said that he does feel a lot more comfortable in hardcourts at the moment, that he wasn't expecting a result like the Buenos Aires title. And we know that this was obviously a huge struggle as well for him in a few matches. So I guess my expectations are a little lower than they would have been otherwise. And considering the draw here, I guess if he beats Marozsan, he's already defeated Rublev. Rublev tends to struggle recently against players who out-hit him. Menchik is another player whom we don't really know how he's going to perform in conditions like this. So the draw as a whole, like this section that we're looking at, the 16 players, if this was Madrid, I would have been probably screaming, yeah, Fonseca can get through this, all of this. But in Rome, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see the match that he played in Estoril. I just know it was pretty bad and he made a lot of errors and he underperformed. But was some of that also because of the the pressure to play the 175 because of maybe appearance fees, or just the fact that he was signed up and he lost early? Or was there also some physical issues before, something in training or something? I remember John posting about that when he was there, about some issues in some practice sections, physical things.
Yeah, he talked about the shoulder, but I mean, John asked him about it, and he basically said it's not a real injury. It's just, athlete's life, I think he called it. So I wouldn't really look at that too much, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah, but the matchup against Marozsan is pretty tough right away. And yeah, maybe if that's still fresh in your mind, the Estoril performance, you're probably going to lower your expectations for Joao at this point.
Yeah, I do think that he is obviously very dangerous. It's possible he gets on the run. It's just not quite like Madrid, where you have to consider him as one of the players who can make a very massive impact there. He beats Paul, and he definitely makes it to that Draper 4th round, I believe, there. And then who knows what happens there. But yeah, nonetheless, here it's going to be a little bit more difficult at Roland Garros. But who knows? Maybe he'll just have a good training block and then find something. Maybe it's really just a matter of that. would like to hear which way Damien are leaning. I mean, this is just making us predict, which doesn't make much sense. I mean, is Fonseca the favorite? Yeah, but it's somewhat lukewarm. Let's just say that.
Yeah, he's probably a slighter favorite than he would have been if he beats Paul or he does better in Estoril. So he's a favorite, but only marginally, I think.
Yeah, like marginally is maybe a stretch, but definitely, not as much of a favorite as he was against Jesper, for example. Like that's maybe how I would put it. But yeah, also the opponent is pretty dangerous, not gonna lie. There are definitely better players he could have faced here, like better in the sense that they would have been more pleasant for him to tackle. So yeah, if not Fonseca, if we look at this whole 16-player section, I guess it's very open, and that's kind of what's still making me think, it's possible that he can go far, because you've got Rublev, who since he started working with Marat Safin, we haven't really seen the best of him yet. We haven't seen that flourish, let's say. We've got Menchik, who did very well in Madrid, but his slow play performances of late were tough, and I think he can get there with time. I think he already had great slow play performances in the past, just not recently, and he's probably not going to be as deadly as he was there when he was really relying on that serve to be just insane. Hurkacz, who's been struggling. Fritz, who also just came back from an injury and probably loses to Bonzi in Madrid if the Frenchman doesn't get injured. So it looks very open to me.
If you enjoyed this video,
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
This loop thing. Anyway, never mind. Welcome, guys. Hello, Carson, and we're going to be watching Joao Fonseca play Fabian Marozsan.
Hi, Damien. Good to be on with you. Should be an exciting match, I think.
Yeah, balls will be hit heavy, hard. All the rallies will be below 3 shots.
No, I don't expect many 20 or 30 shot rallies in this one. Both of them like to absolutely rip it. So, yeah, probably shouldn't be a long match either then. But,
It's kind of what I'm hoping for, to be honest. I mean, I have some time, just probably not 3 hours. But yeah, this will not be 3 hours, even if it is close. Is this a difficult opening draw for Joao Fonseca?
not necessarily the easiest. I could. There's probably other players that he would prefer to face early on, but it's a matchup that I think he's favored in. He should be able to pull through this one.
Marozsan had the best win of his career on these. Was it on this court? On one of these courts, anyway, when he defeated Carlos Alcaraz 2 years ago.
I think that may have been on the main court, if I remember correctly. But it was a
Sounds
couple years
possible.
ago. I don't remember exactly.
Was ranked number 135 at the time. Now he's much, much higher. And we have someone else in the room.
Hey,
Someone else. Good morning, guys. Good afternoon, Damien.
Yeah, I just heard the noise, but I assumed it was you. But I was like, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's someone completely unexpected. Maybe Neil Skapski joined the stream and decided to commentate this time. I mean,
in due time. In due time.
how is Fabian's form? Says the producer. Is it? It's. I guess it's okay. I mean, there's nothing special. Let's just say that. In Madrid, he lost to Koboli in the opening round. So maybe the unlucky guy here is not Fonseca. Maybe it's Marozsan. Koboli in Madrid round 1, Fonseca in Rome round 1.
Very fair. And, I'm always high on Marozsan at the Masters. But, of course, a tough draw. And another tough day for Matteo Arnaldi. I don't know. It's definitely disappointing, I feel like, especially in Rome.
But also very telegraphed. He lost to Gasquet recently. These smart, experienced veterans just wait for him to implode, make all the possible forehand errors, and he complies. He complies every single time. So, well.
Yeah, Bautista Agut is not exactly an easy opponent to face on clay either. He has a lot of experience, obviously, very crafty out there. It's a fairly quick hold for Marozsan, game 1.
I guess Bautista Agut might be tougher than Gasquet, but yeah, still, I mean, depends what your expectations are for Arnaldi, but I still think it's a pretty major disappointment for him. It's time to start beating the old guys, and some of the old guys he started beating, since obviously he defeated Novak Djokovic last week.
Right.
But Richard Gasquet and Roberto Bautista Agut are clearly better than Novak Djokovic at the moment.
Yeah. Yes. Right there.
And Federico China should be in a battle today. Definitely a tough draw with Navone, though.
Will it be a battle? Yeah,
I don't
I'm not
think
sure
so.
it gets to be a battle.
I don't think so. It's kind of been a grind to start, but and Peyton Starnes an early break.
Well, that's a nice ace down the tee.
Yep. Very clean. Damien, any big takeaways or something that surprised you watching Joao or talking to him?
Nestoril? I mean, first of all, it gave me a lot of doubts. Well, a lot maybe is a stretch, but some doubts regarding his performances on slow clay right now in Rome or Roland Garros. When speaking to him, I mean, we only got 2 English questions, so there's a limited amount of info you can get in that time. From the Portuguese section, apparently he was saying that he feels much more comfortable on hard right now, that he needed that break after Miami because he was basically started his season at the Next Gen Finals, and that's mid-December, that he wasn't expecting the Buenos Aires run in February. This was his first event on clay in 7 months. So combined with that Jesper de Jong performance, I do think that it kind of made me think, I don't know if the big breakthrough is coming in Rome or Roland Garros. That said, just before this stream began, we had that preview video of me and Vansh playing, and this section that this guy is in, I mean, all players there have some question marks. Some are physical, some are surface related. And the seeds in that whole like 16 player, or rather 16 spots in the draw, 12 player part of the draw are Hurkacz, Fritz, Menschik, and Rublev. I mean,
Yep.
That's all very doable for actually either of these guys.
Yeah, and I feel like Marozsan is one of those players that can play with a lot of variety and rhythm and get you out of rhythm. So I'm sure he's going to be looking
sure, yeah.
to mimic De Jong's performance.
Maybe. Drop shot is definitely something he's known for.
Yep.
Gonna play that kind of like, I want to end the point in 3 or 4 shots type of tennis. And yeah, it's just gonna likely be that kind of a hitting contest. So I don't know if you have that much time for the drop shots. But yeah, certainly somebody
Right.
who's just gonna like blast the ball with Fonseca, even more so than De Jong, right? De Jong was still defending a lot and trying to extend the point. This is just gonna be a more, just I'm coming at you. Oh no, actually I'm coming at you, and yeah, they're just gonna battle like that.
Yeah, and Marozsan has a good, flat wide serve. Going to be trying to target the backhand, but good hold, 2-1.
It's been fairly straightforward so far on service games. Not a lot to look at for either one of them yet.
Oh, Susan Lehman serving for the set. Damien, what are you thinking for Borges save with Wild?
I mean, it's not the perfect pronunciation of the Brazilian's name, but I think that actually works better. That works better because he is wild. and yeah, I guess that's kind of what I think. Both of them could definitely beat Auger-Aliassime in the next round, considering what Felix is doing at the moment. Nuno, I'd expect he'll be playing a little bit better than Nestoril, just because you could see how much the mental energy that he needed to expend on the court in this particular setting, with the whole crowd and everything. I do believe it was kind of getting to him. So maybe he's going to play a bit better. Also made the 4th round here last year with some crazy matches along the way. Maybe this one will be another. It's never easy to play save of it. I mean, he can just give you... My pronunciation is horrible too, by the way. But he can just give you the match on a silver platter, and he can also just murder you. So can probably also murder you off the court. But I was talking about the on the court type of murder. So
yeah. Yeah, well, I guess his only problem is that all the Brazilians are going to be here. And we know he loves a crowd. He'll fight with the crowd as well. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of the situation. It's been a rocky 25 for him, but I don't know, always entertaining in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, it's too
Really
much.
good power on the forehand.
Yeah, it's too much. Like, I'm just curious when it becomes a guessing game when you play Joao. Like, he's hitting it so hard, you might as well lean. That's not what you want to do. But here we go, 30 all.
Does seem like he's targeting the forehand side down a little bit more early on, which he's missing a little bit right now. But we'll see if that's the correct game plan. We got Ghosty and Dave in the chat this morning.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, definitely. The weather is better than yesterday when you had to wait for the stream of Ayala Acoustic. Today we're getting it nice and early.
And a nice and early break point. So
One just pushed that one a little bit too long again.
Yes, he has. It's not a sitter, but if he lands that, he definitely has that easy volley to pick up. And now it's Marozsan with the early break. I think if they just keep playing like this, like it's also pretty difficult for Fonseca to show why he's better. Like if it's just a
Right.
contest like this where both of them are serving very well, hitting the first forehand, and whatever happens from there, they're basically gonna be killing. How do you actually separate yourself from the other guy?
Right.
You're gonna be hitting harder. I mean, that's almost impossible. And also, if you're gonna be hitting harder, it's like by a marginal, by literally like a small margin.
Yeah. Well, Damien, you're going to have to answer this question because I do not know about his junior career.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Well, he was the world number one. He played the U.S. Open, was it final? Yeah, he definitely did start. Well, I mean, he just basically started around there. Won that ATP 250 title in Santiago in 2020, which everybody thought was okay. Yeah, so that's on track. And then he has a few years of not doing anything. So yeah, I think so. Of course, there was a brief moment when he beat Medvedev at Roland Garros when he got to the top 100, and everybody thought, yeah, this is now. The guy is here to stay now. But if we look at like the overall, let's say progression of his career, I do think he's 100% underperforming. I tried to ask him something like that once, but
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah, it didn't end too well. Let's just say that.
I love it.
Some players would rather play beautiful tennis than win, it seems. Perhaps one of them is Carlos Alcaraz, and you can hear a lot about that in the most recent episode me and Vansh recorded with Owen for the Iga and Carlos tennis show about the documentary, where it's actually one of the themes of that. So shameless plug. But yeah, for sure.
Iga looking for the bagel.
Yeah, we had a double bagel today already. Diana Schneider delivering that to Caroline Dolheid. My Marta Kostic didn't quite get there yesterday when me and Brenner were commentating the Eala match. But Iga, I mean, that has to also be a match where you're like thinking, how many games can Cocherete win? They know each other very well from the junior times. They played each other so many times, and then Elisabetta was winning, but that was about 10 years ago. Oh, and she did win a game.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
she just
Rakitic.
got it.
Double bagel avoided. Well, if the three-time champion Iga Świątek would be struggling here right away in the opening round, that would not be a good sign for the future rounds.
You guys are definitely ahead of me, but
I'm kind of struggling with my stream, to be honest. It's been very laggy, so I might switch to something that's going to be slower as well.
Center, I think center plays Saturday. Yep. Is that good or is that wide?
Sinner? Saturday,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Sinner plays his first round Saturday. Gonna be against Mariano Navone most likely. Could be Federico Cina, but we'll see.
Yep.
Backstage, I saw the producer who was looking a little like the Brazilian we were talking about earlier, not necessarily Joao Fonseca, but the other guy, since I think the pedo mustache is back. Anyway, yeah, he's nodding, but that's not too important right now. What is important is that Joao Fonseca gets that second game on the board. 18 minutes. So what we were, we were saying that at the very beginning of the stream with Carson, that even if there's a lot of games, it's going to be a quick match. So this rapid pace, let's see if it allows Fonseca any look to come back into this one. So far, I don't think Marozsan has been pressured at all on his serve.
And that's a really good drop shot.
Yeah, he's just so filthy.
There goes the drop shot, yeah.
Yeah, it's good disguise.
2 years ago in Cagliari, I saw this very funny interaction between an Italian fan and Marozsan. So Marozsan actually lost to Shelton in his second round. But the next day, there's like this old Italian fan, and he knew zero English. But he starts showing something to Marozsan. And I was standing there. Fabi had no idea what it is. I had no idea what it is. But then I think it was very easy to realize because he started just doing these motions, forehand drop shot, backhand drop shot. And it was clear that he was just saying, "Oh man, your drop shots were incredible, and both forehand, both backhand." And just with these gestures, we were able to get what the guy meant.
No, that's awesome.
They were incredible indeed. He lost that match in straights, but it was like 15 drop shot winners or something like that. Yeah.
What about him as a prospect coming up, Damien? Was he highly rated?
Marozsan? No, not at all, actually. Among the Hungarian guys, they have these three very strong talents, 98, 99, Piros, Valkus, and Marozsan. Piros won the Australian Open in juniors. Valkus was the number one. They were both perceived as much stronger prospects, Valkus especially. And then they just, are continuously injured, never really went all that far. And Marozsan kind of from the back row, he rose above both of them. But yeah, he didn't get the same kind of wildcard treatment when he was young. No, but I guess the main difference is that he's been mostly healthy.
Right.
I hear there's somebody new joining as well. Is it a party? No, actually not. Oh yeah, there is someone in the back. Should I add him though? Because For some reason, he hasn't. Okay, yeah. We can bring him in. Now it's a party.
Oh, 4 of us.
Although he is muted. I don't know if on purpose or not.
Hello.
There we go. Hi, Fergus.
How are we doing?
Doing well. Watching
What's
a
going on, Fergus?
tennis match so far.
Has it been?
Wow.
What's the standard been like? Has Fonseca just not been firing?
I've just been missing a little bit. It feels like it has been more on his racket than Marozsan so far. So
right.
A little too much in some moments.
Which is the case at the moment.
I mean,
Damien
on
obviously doesn't
return,
agree.
nothing has been on his racket. I don't think on return anything has been on his racket at all. It's just that one game that he lost on serve where he misses, the down the line forehand at 30 all, and then the approach at 30-40. But like on return, it's not like he has anything to say so far.
Yeah, it hasn't put much pressure, but I mean, Marozsan also hasn't had to do too much when he's serving either.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. That's true.
Fonseca just going after balls that don't need to be after, in a sense. Because the last couple of times I watched Fonseca, he's like trying to absolutely rip a forehand from a position where he just doesn't need to at all. And it's just no point construction, just trying to smack it as high as he can. Gets that wrong. Sup, Dave? How you doing?
Nerlin's in the chat as well.
Love Nerlin.
Good morning or good afternoon. I actually don't know where Nerlin is from.
Turkey.
Is he? I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And that's what he says, I don't know if I have any confirmation, but
Yeah, he's just adds all for the chat. He doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean that. That's a good second serve from Fonseca.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very small. Very small. I'm sure you're having a good laugh.
If Fonseca goes out, obviously it's still a long way to go in this match, but if Fonseca goes out first round here, I mean, what's the thinking behind? I think the guys on one of the guys on the Tennis Channel podcast said that Fonseca's going to win Roland Garros. Like, sure. I actually at this point.
When? This year?
Yeah, this year. One of the guys on the Tennis Channel, he said that Fonseca's going to win Roland Garros this year. Because I've been watching for like 5 minutes, and he looked better in Madrid than he has here. Obviously, this is just one set, and there's obviously a long way to go. But
no, I mean, if we throw him in for 7 best-of-5 set matches, surely there's gonna be at least one guy who like grinds him down the same way Tommy or Alex did.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Besides, I mean, unseeded for that, well, you can run into anybody, so it could be a Fonseca Sinner or Alcaraz round 1 as well. So
yeah, exactly.
Factor that in, yeah. I mean, he's not really among the possible winners. I understand that if you were going to make like a tier list or a power ranking, you'd have to put him in probably around the, 15-20 mark or something like that. But that doesn't mean these are possible winners, right? That would still be one of the biggest shocks in history, I guess. Or maybe not, because, well, it's Fonseca. But yeah, I'd like his chances more at like the US Open or something like that rather than Roland Garros. And not only because you have 4 more months to get there.
Yeah. Dave, even I don't think Draper's going to win Roland Garros, so that's a crazy take.
But Wimbledon, ask Fergus
Yeah.
about Wimbledon.
I was having this discussion the other day with my friend, and I think a semi-final is definitely possible. It depends. Oh, it's all on the draw. But depending on the draw, you know, I don't think it's...
I mean, who are the guys you don't think he can beat?
Right, that's what I was gonna go with.
Sinner and Alcaraz. I mean, who else?
True.
On grass?
Alcaraz, I mean, I'm just curious to see how good Djokovic will be this year at Wimbledon, because he's obviously saving his level for the slams. I mean, Cam Norrie, I mean, I would actually be a little scared if he draws Norrie in like round 2, because I'm scared that Norrie will pull out like some crazy level again. But
Elias Ymer opening round.
I think Carlos is probably the main one that he would struggle against in a 5-setter on grass, but I can't think about anyone else that I wouldn't give him the edge to. So I guess in that sort of terms, we're looking at a Carlos Draper Wimbledon final, if you're thinking about it that way. But obviously all in the draw and injuries and stuff, but yeah.
Now you're talking. The semi-final was just too low. I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't pleased with your performance there, Fergus. But thankfully, I helped you out, and now.
Yeah,
thanks.
Well, I was just waiting for you to just call out my prediction, say no, he's not making it past the 4th round, or like no, he's not making it to the quarters or whatever. But
no, I mean, I legit think that Sinner and Alcaraz are probably the only guys he's not really like at least 50-50 against, which is again going back to that whole thing about the ATP Tour right now being, you know, 2 guys and then 30 who are pretty much next to each other. Well, Zverev and Draper are ahead of the pack, but Zverev is not that good on grass. Anyway, one more game where Fonseca doesn't do all that much on return. I mean, at least until he's lost 40. Some of this was actually just poor returning too. That first one, he got really surprised by the 3rd return. Yeah, it's been a pretty poor returning standard for sure. And Marozsan gets the first set.
For the way Fonseca plays, just looking at these stats, 3 winners in the first set. For how
also look at the fact that one of them only is a ground stroke.
Yeah, exactly. When you think about how aggressive Fonseca's style of play is, only 3 winners and 1 off the ground. I mean, that's never going to work out for you in a set against someone like Marozsan. Even Jesus cannot stop Sinner from winning. No, I don't think Sinner will win Wimbledon. We got to focus on Roland Garros first. Can't skip ahead.
I don't know if Jesus, but Carlos Alcaraz is a thing.
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Sometimes pretty close, yeah.
If Carlos grew out his hair, can Medi make a Roland Garros final? No.
I would be shocked.
I think everyone would be shocked.
He won this tournament in Rome 2 years ago, so that was all.
Mede, as in who's Mede?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen it spelled that way, but Medi.
I'm just a
Hamad Medjedovic, yes. Daniil Medvedev, no.
I mean, who did he lose to? He lost to De Minaur last year in round 4, right?
No, Sean, Medvedev is not with Gilles Simon. I think it was like around the turn of the year that they stopped that partnership.
It was quite early on.
It was like about a year, I think.
Yeah. It would be very Medvedev of him to make the final and then lose to Alcaraz after being 2 sets to low up.
At Roland Garros?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What would that be? How many slam finals has he been in? 4? 5?
More.
Yeah.
I think it might be 6 off the top of my head, but I'm not sure. We'll have to count.
As in that he's lost. Obviously, he's only got the 1, but Has he
Oh,
been
you
in
lost. So maybe
6
5
finals
then?
and then 5, yeah, lost.
2 at the US Open, 3 in Australia. Is that true? I think it's true.
I think it is, yeah.
The ones he lost, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he can go for the career slam of going to sets to love up and then losing.
Yeah.
But he only has Australia twice, but he only has Australia, so.
I mean, he was a setup against Alcaraz in the semi-final last year at Wimbledon. He was thinking he was going to make the final again.
Yeah, he was playing well then.
I think Djokovic would have taken him apart in the final, though, to be honest. But to be fair, Djokovic did kind of get absolutely cooked in that final.
Yeah, right. You're right, Dave. I forgot about that secret list of strategies. I mean, Medvedev, Simon, you can see how they would get along. They're both intelligent in the same way, let's say, but maybe you need someone to actually be different to you.
So lovely backhand from Fonseca.
Yeah.
He's the ground stroke winner.
Yeah, number 2.
Was that a winner though? I thought that ball was out for Marozsan.
No, I think it was.
That's what Marozsan thought, I think.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he
I
did
thought
playing
it
it
landed
and-
right on the line. But
I thought that initially too, but yeah.
all wrong. Will this be a Sinner Alcaraz final, or do you think Sinner will get knocked out in round 4?
If Sinner survives the first 3 rounds, he makes the final for sure, I think. But the first 3 rounds are difficult. Let's imagine he has to go through Navone, Davidovich Fokina, and Cerundolo in a row after not playing for a few months. That is actually quite tough. But yeah, then the quarter, the semi-final, that should be all easy for him. Carlos, on the other hand, has a brilliant early draw.
Mm.
Yeah,
Especially after injury, this is so nice for him to come back to this sort of draw.
Intelligent in the same way, what does that mean? I mean, there are very different ways of being intelligent. I think the famous intelligence quotient is absolute BS, but I don't know how to explain it, Ghosty. I mean, they are analytical in a similar manner, let's just say. We're both like chess players on a tennis court.
Navoni's a setup, isn't he, against Sinner at the moment? Yeah. So it was always going to be Navoni, really, against Sinner. Sinner versus Sinner, that would have been cool. I don't back Igor at the moment. I don't think Sinner will win the title here either. Not to completely dismiss your claims, Nerlan, but it's probably a safe bet to say Carlos and then probably Sabalenka, but I don't know. I just feel like Iga's kind of... Iga will make the semis and then, I don't know, but I just don't think she's hitting with the same conviction she was this time last year.
Definitely not, but I think you've lost hope early. Yes, sir, producer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go for any picks because it's pointless. I think the percentage favorites are still Alcaraz and Świątek.
Yeah.
But kind of like at Roland Garros, I believe in Carlos more than I do in Iga right now. So I think, funnily, he might be the bigger favorite than Świątek is to win Roland Garros at the moment. But that is still, of course, we have to see what Sinner does here. Let's imagine that Yannick beats him on the way to the Rome title. That would shake up some of my beliefs.
We have to remember that Damien only has beliefs and no definites unless it's Monte Carlo, and then he's willing to give complete predictions. That's the 1 week of the year Damien's happy to give an actual prediction instead of a theory.
And was that prediction right? I mean, well, some of them.
I can't remember what. Oh, you said if he gets past Cerundolo first round, then he'll win the title.
About Carlos, yeah, but some other predictions for the semifinalists, they weren't quite as good. Although I did also say that the winner of that cluster of Zverev, Musetti, Tsitsipas, Rune makes the final and loses to Alcaraz.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was also, I think, a Djokovic shout in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And that, of course, was not fulfilled. But I mean, in my defense, Djokovic right now, it's kind of like he decides whether he's going to want to play this week or not. So
yeah. I really do wonder what it's like in that camp, like what Murray and Djokovic like are talking about right now. As in, like, are they saying like, yeah, let's just do whatever and then let's just focus on the slams? I think they call it a day after Wimbledon. If he doesn't win Wimbledon,
that's what I said. I agree.
Like that partnership or Novak?
Oh,
partnership. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Novak will call it a day at the end of this year, I think. Anyway.
Another service game, another hold.
Yeah, still not really doing anything on the.
Yeah, I think Fonseca tends to hit some decent returns in this match when it's like love 40, 15-40.
Right.
But then any other point, really, I mean, just falls behind quickly and there's not much to do from that point anymore.
I think producer is asking for some confirmation that you said Novak is retiring this season.
Yes, I think Novak will retire at the end of the year if he hasn't won the 100th title.
I think, yeah, that's a goal for him. Plus, also, so many times we've said, and he has also kind of confirmed it, that like he will play the as long as he feels like he can be competitive against the new guys, against the youngsters. And well, we're not far off saying he is not competitive against him. Just kind of need the next two slams, the next three slams, to go as things have been recently, and that's maybe when he might have that sort of idea. But then again, what would be the perfect event for Novak to retire at? Australia, probably.
True. 2 break points for Marozsan.
Just another miss from the forehand side. Been pretty wild today.
Yeah.
Today, I mean, it's kind of how it's been always, right?
Yeah, not too many long extended rallies.
Fonseca doesn't do this.
Marozsan doesn't either, but like, yeah, it's Fonseca who's missing all of this, who has to play a lot more on his serve, especially. And the forehand is just not making that type of impact as in Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very well played.
Like that's crazy ability that Marozsan possesses. That overhead was
really good.
Extremely hard from that area of the court.
Really, and I think it's kind of like with De Jong, these guys are all just coming out against Fonseca right now, and they are just fired up. They want to beat this guy. They've heard all about him. They have watched him, and they're like, well, this is a guy I really want to compete against. This is a guy I really want to beat. It's kind of like, if he was a top ranked player, which he's not. But that's kind of, I think, how it feels for, guys like Marozsan or De Jong. Well, so far it's been pretty perfect from Fabi, of course. And as long as he can just keep serving like this.
I have a question for Carson and Damien, because I've already asked Brenna this question. Do you think that Fonseca will win a Masters? What will happen first? Fonseca wins his first Masters, or Mensik wins his second?
That's a good question. I mean, I think right now Mensik is probably closer to winning a second than Fonseca is to winning his first.
Yep.
I think that's the short answer. But I think you also have, like, what tournaments can Mensik win? Clay isn't necessarily his strong point right now, so that takes a couple of the Masters out.
Cincinnati, I think, if his serve is probably.
Yeah, like if Fonseca is going to evolve into this all-court player, he'll have more chances to win title. So it's kind of like, how long does it take Jakub Mensik to win his second?
I'm also thinking about the type of ATP 1000s we're going to get. And from here, the second part of the year, these probably aren't the events that Fonseca will be like that good at. I'd say maybe in the future, the first 5, somewhat like France Rundolo might be his best standard. So maybe by the Sunshine Double, he could do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Mensik, you're just thinking whether he can win one from here to basically, let's say, middle of next year, which he probably can. I'm gonna say, I don't know. It's a good question because the answer is because I don't think Fonseca is winning an ATP 1000 this year. I'm gonna say Mensik is a little more likely for now.
I can't remember what Brenna's choice.
I don't even remember what I did say.
I think you did. I think you did say Mensik.
I think I wanted to say Mensik, or I definitely wanted to say Fonseca, but
I only mentioned Cincinnati because I think you.
I was like,
mentioned
Mensik
Cincinnati,
can,
Mensik, and you thought like because how fast the courts are there. Like
that's what I was thinking as well. That Mensik can win Cincinnati,
right?
Mm-hmm. I think
or Shanghai,
Shanghai,
or even Paris.
Yeah. So and Fonseca won't win any of these this year, I think. So yeah, probably Mensik for now. But it's also, of course, very possible that Mensik just, I don't know, doesn't win one for the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Such a good drop shot.
It's insane.
And it looked pretty poor, right?
Yeah,
it had so much.
Because of the height he got, but like the distance was just perfect.
The trajectory was.
He hits it with so much spin. Like when we were in Munich, I don't know what he strings his racket at, but you could like really hear like the tension on his strings with how much spin he was hitting with. Just like the drop shot is just crazy.
Well, the Iga Świątek update is that she is 2 points away, and she has only lost 1 game so far.
Yeah.
That's true as well, Ghosty. They were thinking of removing Cincinnati, but we'll see.
I think you'd rather remove Toronto or Montreal than Cincinnati, right?
I think they were trying to move it somewhere.
Yeah, they tried to move it to Charlotte, but they signed a new contract with Cincinnati, so it will be there for a little while.
Okay. And to your question, Nurlan, about Sinner, I guess. I mean, shot for shot, he's definitely got the best skill set right now. So I suppose that's an answer.
Most Damien response, I guess. It's just classic. Classic Damien. You don't think Carlos is the best defender on tour? Or you think Sinner is a better all-court defender?
Carlos is the better athlete. Carlos has a lot of intangibles that are not like quantifiable really above, like that's what he has above Yannick, and Yannick has, just every shot is top 5. If tennis is just played on serve, return, forehand, backhand, Yannick is number 1 by 10,000 points, and Alex de Minaur is outside of the top 50. But that's not how it works. Marcos Giron is outside the top 200. But again, that's not how it works. Carlos Alcaraz probably, is struggling to be number 2.
Sinner also deals with the bigger balls better, in a sense. I'm watching the Indian Wells match last year when Sinner was striking back with as much pace as Carlos was hitting them. Carlos looked as less comfortable than Sinner did on the heavier ball. So
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But
it's so good, that drop.
That's another killer. And Fabian Marozsan today, again, just so locked in, so patient. I muted the tab. And then I was like, why aren't you guys saying anything? And then I realized it's me. So sorry if I barged into somebody's speech there, but.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, it feels like a monumental hold now at this point. Marozsan gifted 2 errors to give him game point, but takes it back with the drop shot. Now good body serve, +1. Well done.
Yeah.
Played it so smart as Marozsan with that loop and then the drop shot.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's just thinking on a different level today.
Good depth. Good depth. It feels big.
I just feel as though Marozsan's too locked in right now. I don't think that that's a tough hold in a sense, but I don't feel that will phase Marozsan. I'll be surprised if that phases Marozsan at this point in the match.
Might not phase him, but definitely a bit of a confidence builder for Fonseca if he is to produce any comeback here. Iga Świątek through.
Does Jarry make it past the second round and move outside the world's top 150?
It's been a while since Ferran Cerundolo had that type of a loss. Might not be fully up to him.
I mean, Jarry's going to have to produce a crazy. He's literally going to have to repeat his level from last year and some.
I mean, he needs to make the final to not drop any points, which I think is above his level right now.
Yeah, but a semi would keep him in the top 100, so at least that wouldn't be bad. But yeah, I mean, it's also so unlikely right now.
Yeah.
Casino tennis, left and right. I mean, it's not really going to lead to consistency, which is actually the problem for him as well. I mean, you could definitely imagine the guy falling out of the top 100 and just staying there for a while, like he did after his ban. So.
I don't know.
Then again, he can also beat anybody.
I don't know how many points he has to defend for the rest of the season.
Jarry, almost nothing. I mean, he basically stopped winning matches when he made the Rome final.
Well, he's got another 6 weeks worth of another 6 weeks worth of entry lists to kind of make those points up, I guess, in a sense. Well, not make up all of them, but make a sizable dent.
I mean, most of that would be on grass, though, which that would be a challenge for him.
Yes.
Well, I suppose 3 weeks of it are on clay.
Well, what do we have here?
A chance. Miss first serve.
Yeah.
I would put a house that Fonseca goes absolutely huge off this return.
Did he?
No, well, I mean, I think he tried to. He just didn't get.
Nah, you're homeless now.
I'm in uni halls anyway, Damien. Like, I can't really.
Oh,
I can't really do
beautiful.
anything.
Yeah.
Nice. Break point.
Yeah, first one of the entire match for him.
That's like his fourth winner as well, off the ground.
That was his +1 forehand. Yeah, might be at 5 now.
What? We're pushing it. Second serve.
I
I'm
bet
not
my
gonna come
house that he's
Do
missing
you?
the return now.
He double faults.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that means the bet is void.
Facts.
He did miss the return as well.
He did. Yeah, he did. Until I was about to say he has missed the return, and then the camera cuts to Fonseca fist bumping. I was like, that he's double faulted.
No, it was pretty long. When we were in Portugal with John, Fonseca also mentioned, I think, the Portuguese beat of the press stuff that or maybe it was actually when we were talking to him that when he played Jesper de Jong, he got back to, of course, from love free in the second set, he got back to 3-all, and then that's kind of his regret, that he didn't press on from there, that he didn't make him play enough. That was kind of like the moment when he started being very negative about his game, and just that's when it fell apart for him. So I guess he has a good opportunity here to try to make up on some of these mistakes. Although it was different a little, because at 3-all it was Jesper serving, not Joao.
Yeah. To be fair, also the level that De Jong brought that day was impressive.
So maybe it's more the next game that that you could compare that to. Yeah, the game that will be after the changeover here.
Was it like De Jong made 9 out of 9 7 volleys after you said in your preview that he would try 7 volley, as much as possible, Damien?
I'm not sure how many, to be honest, but yeah, definitely was an important part. I don't think we mentioned the drop shot, but yeah, the serve and volley part definitely was good.
You see Borges got bageled, Damien?
Bageled?
I mean, I'm sorry, breadstick.
Oh, okay, yeah. That I saw. Yeah, I was just like, oh, is it 1-6 love 6 already? Holy hell!
I mean, who knows?
Sabofield is like, where are the Brazilians? I have to start winning so that they start coming to my matches instead of that young dude.
Where is Saber great serve out wide? Fonseca holds 4-3. Where is Fagerfield in the rankings now? 117, 120?
120.
Wow.
What, Nurlan? Why do I think going to the gym alone is hard? I think it's not that much. Well, I mean, other people can be a motivator for you working out. I definitely think that. But to me personally, I'd much rather work out alone because obviously the tennis day is a little, you have to be on it like 24/7 almost. And what's best about working out alone is that you can basically not look at anybody, and anytime you have some spare time, you can just go work out. So personally, Nurlan, for me, I'd say it's actually tougher to communicate with somebody, but depends on the way you schedule your day. I think a lot of players are returning, like Djokovic. That's kind of the meta right now. Of course, you're gonna find some of the hot shots, but even some of these big ballers, they will also go for that. Like I don't know, like a Medjedovic. He returns a lot at the middle. But I guess that's a guy who's definitely gonna
Yeah.
learn from Novak. Sinner obviously is a great example of a player who is in many ways, just a bit of a someone who learned a ton from Novak and is trying to replicate it.
Well, here we go. First point, Fonseca up 4-3.
Yeah, that's two in a row now for Fonseca. Deep returns, front foot, put away.
Yeah. The Fonseca matches are never like. I think the longest Fonseca match, bar outside the slams, that 5-set against Sonego must be the Demonor match in Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he just doesn't do long matches because the points are so short. Because he finishes them as soon as possible. Ooh. Damien really perks up for bagels. I think it was more the Borgias than the bagel.
He did get a game, one all in the second.
Who's Borgias playing?
Seville.
Oh, it is Seville.
Finally strung some wins together. Came through qualies.
I don't know how many points Silverfield has to defend for the rest of the year. I think he got
Challenger final in Bad Waltersdorf in September.
a couple point. He made round 2 of Wimbledon, round 3 of Shanghai.
You don't remember him beating Paul Jab?
Of course I do. Don't remind me of that match.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyway, from Love 30 here, Marozsan with a couple of ballsy forehand winners, but the third attempt to go for literally the same shot into the same spot is off. So breakpoint for Fonseca here.
Wow. Fonseca had his chance to, keep moving forward, and some good backhand defending from Marozsan to stay in the point.
Feels though Marozsan holds here. Could.
Yeah, that'll be big.
Yeah.
Looking like the longest rally of the match here. Wow.
It's like neither of them are fully connecting on their ground strokes for a minute there, and they were just, that's why the point wasn't being finished. Huge reaction from Fonseca.
Yeah.
Any houses being put on this return, Damien?
No, not necessarily. I felt like that about the previous one, but now he seems a little more composed.
Second serve?
I was going to say almost identical to the last break point, but this time Marozsan goes for the winner down the line.
Oh, yeah. He did go big off the return, but Marozsan was fine with that. See you, producer.
Bye, producer. Peyton serves. Did she serve that out?
She did. 6-2, 6-3.
Oh, dropper, no.
Yeah. Was gonna be another classic if it goes
Yeah,
on the net.
was a great, was perfect idea, just clips the net.
Another good kicker, second serve. Maybe hopped off the line a little weird.
Well, this is just becoming more and more likely if Marozsan holds here, Fonseca down. If Marozsan does hold here, it just becomes more likely that Marozsan will break immediately and serve it out.
He's definitely had a lot of options to fold here, Marozsan, and hasn't so far.
Fonseca banking on this game to kind of get him into that position of serving for the second set and taking it to a third, and Marozsan kind of just responding in all ways necessary and absolutely nails that forehand drive volley, and it's 4-all. 3 break points saved, and now Fonseca's gonna have to hit the reset button.
Yeah, that's the game that he was referencing in Estoril. And that was at 3-all against the Esper in the second set. Here it's at 3-4, but or 4-3 from his side. But yeah, I guess this time though he can't really be too disappointed. I mean, it was mostly just Marozsan doing some very clutch stuff on these breakpoints.
Yeah, his defense on all 3 of those breakpoints were quick. It was really good. Yeah, Fonseca needs to quickly reset though.
Yeah, he kind of even refused to defend that second breakpoint, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Just redirecting pace, really. It's a good start to the game though from Fonseca. Just using that kicker as much as possible.
thought Ghosty said goodbye earlier, but I guess Peyton Stearns made him return to the stream. Indeed, it's your girl's moment. Enjoy it, savor it.
This is going well so far for Joao. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave said it. That was a really good kick serve.
Getting forehands up in that pocket. Just destroying
He
it.
just spams the kick serve on the clay.
I love it. But ace down the tee.
Ace down the tee, yeah.
Feels
No,
we can.
no kicker there. Just ace straight down the tee. 5-4. Now Marozsan has to hold to stay in the second set.
What were you saying about that break coming up, Fergus?
I don't remember. I don't remember saying anything.
Like a goldfish.
Yeah.
When it comes to British player losses and predictions that didn't pan out.
Never. I have a great memory for losses, especially more than wins. Probably they stick. They stick probably better.
Yeah, unfortunately, our brains kind of function like that.
Ostapenko just finished out her match.
Yeah, that was a interesting scoreline.
We got a bit of the Ostapenko experience in that one. It's up and down all over the place.
As long as she's in the event, Iga Świątek cannot feel too comfortable.
Yep.
Right.
Never only one game away against Sinner. 6-3, 5-3 in the second. I noticed, Damien, I noticed for the first time maybe in a couple years you tweeted and mentioned Jan Choinski.
Yeah, it's been a while since there was any reason to do it. Since this season, he was pretty rough. I think last year he won that. Was it last year he won that challenger in Austria in September? So that's when I would have tweeted about him when he defeated Neumeier in Tulln. But after that, yeah, probably there was no reason to mention him at any point. Today I did watch that match against Blocks. Unfortunately it wasn't a positive tweet regarding Jan Choinski, who did blow it completely. So basically had an opponent who was feeling clearly unfit, and that did not help him get over the line.
Yeah. I was not watching. I wasn't thinking about it. I was following it briefly, but I wasn't watching it because realistically, I actually thought that Block would get it done quite simply, and then I saw that Choinski took the first set, and then but I knew that it was 5-3 in the third, so I kind of just left it. And then
had 3 match points in that game, and somehow Choinski still lost it against an opponent who is pretty unlikely to be 100% for tomorrow after this battle. Well, Marozsan continues to look like a cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, no mercy. So when I was talking about the break, I was talking.
You meant 5-0. Okay.
I meant 5-0. Yeah.
Yeah. When he held for 4-all, that's when he was already thinking about the break at 5-all.
5-all, yeah.
What was the scoreline when he beat Alcaraz? By the way, 6-3, 7-5, was it?
Marozsan in Rome.
Yeah.
He won in a breaker. I know that.
Oh, right. It was a breaker.
Yeah.
Ruined.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, not ruined. It can still be a breaker. But...
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It was a breaker.
Malone just closed it out.
So we already know
5-3,
who Yannick
6-3 in
Sinner
the
will
second.
face on Saturday.
Beautiful. Good composure.
Yeah, really nice. Probably the longest rally of the match.
It's up there.
Looks like the crowd is really starting to get into it now. So.
Yeah, I think we're also seeing like a very different approach from Fonseca, right? At the beginning, we were saying that it's just like a big hitting contest, and how do you actually separate yourself from Marozsan if you just go for that? I think he's trying to do something different now. Whether he will be successful or not, well, that it remains to be seen.
It does seem like he's been a little more patient in the last few minutes or so.
As you say that, tries to go huge for the forehand and shanks it long.
No, but I mean, yeah, he's absolutely considering his options a little bit more here.
Just wide.
Close.
Well, that was not too. That was a little reckless.
Good serve. Yeah, that drop was never good enough.
Yeah.
He thought it was, something in the air in Rome. He thought it was just like, oh, how is Marozsan hitting all these great drop shots? I mean, that means when I try, it's going to be amazing too. But now,
Yeah, a little tighter on that exchange.
Well, predictions. Thinking about coming true. Just thinking about it. Break point for Marozsan. Second serve.
Yeah.
Always good idea to go back in behind.
Save
with the +1.
Yeah, I mean that kicker was like, it wasn't very high, but it was like, it was low and got him really wide. He had so much court to work with. Did well.
No.
Yeah, that feels a little bit like opponent influence and maybe previous point influence.
Mm-hmm.
like Marozsan, of course, has that ability to hit that, but really running forehand down the line,
Yeah.
not there, not needed.
Ooh. There goes game point. Double fault from Fonseca. I've just
It's kind of due
noticed.
to miss one of these kickers, you know, at some point. Yeah, John, more or less. Yeah, 5:30 is when I would have to leave, but I'd much rather end it more quickly. I mean, it's, you know, not necessarily in the second set, but I will still have a lot more stuff to do before leaving. So
I've just noticed the John Terry, John Silk comment, but I'd back John Silk to score a penalty in the Champions League final. I'd back it.
yeah, I don't know about John being a defender, but John Terry, somewhat overrated. Legend for the club, but there were better defenders at the time.
Great
Solid hold from Fonseca. Thought I had my predictions spot on when it was break point, but that's okay. I didn't put my house on it, so it's okay.
You didn't have anything to put on it anymore.
No, true. I don't have a house, but neither do you, so it's okay.
Oh, I do actually. What do you mean?
You said you put your house on Fonseca missing the return, and it was a double fault.
Yeah, so the bet is voided, no? I mean, he didn't hit a return.
No.
Besides, his return was in the net.
The return had action. It needed to be hit in order to be.
I think so. Yeah, I think a return has to be actually hit for this bet to be in or not. If a bomb exploded right there on the court, I mean, it also wouldn't be a lost bet.
Yeah, but
you know?
did a bomb explode on the court right there?
No, but did
Yeah,
Fonseca have to hit a return? No.
I feel like that's would be the least of
I'm
our.
just comparing the double fault to a bomb exploding, you know?
A bomb exploding in Marozsan's head, maybe. But that's about it. I've known all my life where I'm putting my pen as well. Is it like bottom left? You always go to the same place. Never change your mind. Trying to out-hit each other. Fonseca just going along. I don't think I've ever seen Fonseca wear a different kit to what he's wearing now. He's always wearing the same kit.
Yeah, it just screams Brazilian.
Yeah. Tien versus Apelka.
That'll be.
That's not something I'm going to tune in to watch.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Riley Opelka, former semi-finalist of this event.
It's impressive.
What round is Zverev going to lose? Maybe semis. I feel as though he has a bit more motivation this week, seeing that he's defending champion. Kind of has 1,000 points to defend. But then again, he loses all 1,000 points and he goes down one spot in the rankings. The gap between Zverev in 3 and Fritz in 4 is like 3,000 points. So
yeah, and it doesn't really depend on him whether he's number 2 seeded for the French, because he needs to win the title, but also Alcaraz needs to lose early. So
yeah.
Zverev has a relatively easy run into this tournament.
Oh yeah.
Should be able to make a fairly deep run. Nice forehand on the first point of this tiebreaker.
Really good exchange. Up the lines. Marozsan backhand.
Yeah.
Staying really steady.
Yeah, really solid.
Low. Very good mover. Yeah, just pulled that right.
Oh, mini break of Fonseca. 2-1 in the break. Oh, and a double.
I usually don't know where I'm putting my pen, actually, John, because well, I tend to just lose them, and then I have to buy new ones.
That is actually terrible. That is so bad. I hope you're happy with yourself.
But it's true. I mean, it's not even a joke. That's what I do with pens. With penalties, yeah, I guess I swap.
When was the last time you took a penalty, Damien?
Month ago, maybe. We were playing with some people, and basically they ripped us completely, like two halves. I think one of them we lost like 10-12, which doesn't sound that bad, and the other we lost like 5-10, 4-10 or something like that. And then we're just like jokingly suggesting that, oh, we should just do penalties, why not? And we won the penalties, so we were the moral winners in the end. And I did land that penalty, yes.
I have no doubts. I would always back you to take a pen.
Thank you. I feel like my rate is pretty decent, much better than any other part of football.
Oh. Where'd you put it, Damien?
Just here in my city. We play like once or twice with my friends, maybe a year, but that was the one time.
No, where did you put the penalty?
Oh, did I put the penalty? Left, like middle height left, let's say.
Yeah, all right.
Solid.
The goalkeeper was trying to like trick me, and he went so far to his right. I was like, even before the pen, I'm just like, what are you doing there? Just get to the middle. And then he actually went in the direction that he was trying to lure me in. But
Johnny saying that Damien looks like John O'Shea, because that's quite something if you are.
John O'Shea, I haven't heard that. I've heard Marcos Alonso, I've heard Kaka. I don't know if I've heard John O'Shea.
Marcos Alonso, yeah.
Marozsan with the mini break after 2 double faults from Fonseca in a row and a forehand that struck the bottom of the net, and now that return.
That was brutal.
These last 4 points have absolutely fallen apart for Fonseca. Marozsan very much in the driving seat.
I mean, very much.
Yeah.
Especially down a mini break.
He's playing so intelligently. I know he lost the point, but just looping that one in.
Right.
So many times he's just gonna get him the error from Joao.
Will this be 4 losses on the bounce for Fonseca?
What do you mean in a row? 3?
3 in a row.
3-3.
He defeated Elmer Müller in Madrid.
Yeah. The backhand king.
I think he could do some damage here. Maybe. Mueller. Alex, that is. All right, not done yet.
You have to remember, as soon as Müller has any success, that Damien will write him off immediately.
Right.
As he does with every single player.
I mean, not write him off, but just like focus on other guys.
Focus on other players. Yeah, as soon as they have their success, Damien is like, nope, that's good with me. I'm happy to not talk about this guy for the next 3 months. There it is. Marozsan moves through 6-3-7-6.
Yeah, Masters Marozsan just played very clinical today.
Drop shots were crazy.
Yeah, I feel like it was really similar to that De Jong match last week. Like in many ways, Fonseca got to kind of go again and got to have a chance at like making up on some of these errors that he'd made there, and not pushing harder for that break when he had some momentum. Here, I think just Marozsan had ice in his veins at 3-4 in the second set, saving these break points. Obviously, then it got to the breaker, which we didn't see that much against De Jong, and Fonseca making the back-to-back double faults. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where he absolutely killed his chances to win the match right there. Not a great showing, obviously. He's not winning Roland Garros. He will eventually in the future be much better on courts like this, but he definitely needs a little bit more time right now. Not going to be I just saw Jose Morgado on my screen. Anyway, he's going to be one of the players I think who still don't want to draw in Paris, but maybe for the guys who are ranked, not necessarily that high. Like I think a top seed should not feel that scared of him.
Yeah,
I disagree at the moment. Feels like there's been a drop off for him in the last month or so after a pretty strong start to the season. So, yeah, I think he'll get to a higher level eventually. But it seems to be a moment where he's searching for a little bit of form now.
I feel like he almost set the bar too high too quickly with smoking Rublev at the AO in straights and then winning the title in Argentina. He kind of like set the bar like on the ceiling and then hasn't really been able to reproduce that ever since. Obviously, went out first round in Rio, probably some hangover there. And then Indian Wells second round, Miami third round.
Right. Yeah, but it's important to remember that in Madrid his level was insane. In Miami his level was insane. He just lost to 2 players who ground him down on the day and showed that 5% more experience that they have. But it's not like his level was poor at all. It's really just switching to. Yeah, it's really just switching to Estoril and Rome, where things have started like collapsing a little, which clearly right now he is not ready to be a factor in these events. And yeah, Fabian Marozsan, very good performance, calm, collected, fired up for this. Fair play to him. And Marozsan Rublev is also a very exciting match. It's not like only Fonseca can touch someone like that.
Ghosty, in what way does Fonseca remind you of Federer? I'm curious to. Anyway. Brenner, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like what you guys said. I mean, he, of course, I mean, he's just kind of must-watch TV at this point. So, he brings a big crowd with him, and he has all the talent in the world. But, some guys are realizing how you can at least set him off a bit and, disrupt his rhythm. And, that creates problems. But then again, I mean, kind of self-inflicted wounds there, back-to-back double faults after getting the mini break. That changes it. But yeah, you also have to credit Marozsan there, like how much controlled aggression he played. He was hanging in some of the forehand-to-forehand rallies, defending out of the backhand beautifully. I can't I'm not here to I wouldn't say it was like, oh my god, it's terrible from Fonseca. He should have won. I mean, Marozsan, as I like to mention, he likes to show up at these events. He's comfortable in these conditions, and came up very clutch when he needed to. So.
Yep. Well, I don't know who has to head off or whether you guys are sticking around for previews.
We can do them. We can do them.
Damien, you sticking around?
Trying to do them live.
It's up to you guys. I'm not too honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a little tough even with 4 people, so maybe I'll just leave and let you guys do that. What do you think about that?
I was gonna say 4 is live, like we could split it up.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
yeah, does either of you have the privileges to end the stream later?
Yeah, I got it.
Brennan
okay,
does.
so I'm just gonna leave then. Thank you guys, and yeah, see you.
Thanks, Damien. See you.
Thanks, Damien.
Right.
Do we want to do them live though?
We can do, but do we want to? Do you want to? Can you cut off the stream and then we just re-record them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
I can probably figure that out.
Okay, that might be better.
I mean, it doesn't really matter if we do them live or not. Producer can still edit.
We'll just have Ghosty in chat, saying whatever he wants, really.
All right, let me do this.
All right, just give me a minute here. I'll be back in just a second.
No worries.
Quick.
Let me see something.
Fernley Fognini tonight.
I know, like not the match you want,
but I'd kind of expect him to come out of it. So Fognini's not had a good year so far, but I mean, if he's going to turn up to one place, it's going to be here, isn't it? Right?
Exactly.
I remember the Fognini Evans match last year.
I was at Fognini Murray 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Fognini Murray match in Shanghai in 19 when Murray, just started having a go at him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Valid though. Fognini started shouting whilst Murray had a volley on top of the net.
Let's see here. Let me see if this is working.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, Sun pulls it back on serve against Paolini in the first. Paolini was a double breakup.
Yeah. Do we want to go off air, Fergus?
Yeah, we might as well.
I mean, yeah.
Cool. So we'll pre-record those. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching along.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
All right.
It was
Awesome with you all in the chat. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, all of the things.
We will see you very soon. I assume we'll be back on air in like tomorrow.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.